It is Tuesday, August 11. Welcome to CGN News. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley Monday night declared victory for his ruling People's National Movement, the PNM, in the general elections held in Trinidad and Tobago. He signaled immediately that the party is in a transition as he no longer expects to contest another poll. The Elections and Boundaries Commission, the EBC, has yet to declare any preliminary results of the elections for the 41 seats, nor has the leader of the main opposition United National Congress, the UNC, Kamala Prasad Bisesar, conceded defeat. She has said her party intends to challenge at least 3 of the seats won by the PNM. Rowley said that the PNM had won 22 of the 41 seats in Parliament. One member of a group of Ghanaian nurses who recently arrived in Barbados has tested positive for malaria. Members of the press were briefed by local health officials Monday afternoon. The team assured Barbadians that the male nurse is doing well, they have nothing to fear, and that they were able to source medicine to treat the nurse but could not give timelines for the period of isolation of the patient. The Bahamas government has stopped short of leveling criticisms at the United States over its decision to impose travel restrictions on the country. According to CMC reports, the U.S. placed the Bahamas on a list of high-risk countries to be avoided by the nationals because of the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs said while it has taken note of the restrictions recently imposed by Washington, each foreign government has a duty and responsibility to protect its borders, citizens and residents. The Hubert Minnis administration said that it wanted to take the opportunity to remind Bahamian nationals and residents that it is playing its part at the global level to stem the spread of the pandemic. Citizens of Montserrat welcomed the good news from the Ministry of Health and Social Services on Friday that active cases on the island once again stand at 0. The last 2 individuals who were asymptomatic were isolated and remained in quarantine until they were given clearance on August 6. All close contacts were tested, returning negative results. However, the Health Ministry issued a warning that no active cases does not equate to no COVID-19 infection on the island. Residents were reminded to continue practicing good hygiene, social distancing, and the wearing of face coverings in shared public spaces where social distancing may not be possible. The Jamaica Teachers Association, the JTA, is concerned about the health of teachers and students from a high school in Kingston who recently interacted with a CSEC student who has tested positive for COVID-19. JTA President Owen Speed said contact tracing is taking place. High schools reopened briefly in July to assist students preparing for CXC exams. Speed says the incident is a timely reminder for teachers to maintain protocols to protect themselves. He says he is hoping that the contact tracing can be done quickly. Former England forward Eniola Aluko has apologized for a quarantine breach in Barbados, which resulted in a warning from a local magistrate's court. The Aston Villa women's sporting director, 33, was on holiday in the country but had to stay in a quarantine hotel while she awaited results of a coronavirus test. After a delay to the results, she said the hotel allowed her to leave and was then spotted on social media. That led to a charge and a court appearance for Aluko, who earned 102 caps for England. The magistrate chose not to issue her with a fine after acknowledging the misunderstanding, even though Aluko offered to pay one. Her test results came back negative. Overseas now, the Prime Minister of Lebanon, Hassan Diab, in a brief televised speech Monday morning, announced that he's taking a step back in order to stand with the people in fighting the battle for change alongside them. Diab made the comments in reaction to the Beirut port explosion that has triggered public fury and mass protests. In declaring the resignation and acknowledging that also of his entire cabinet, he asked for God's protection on the country. The developments follow a weekend of anti-government protests in the wake of the August 4 explosion in Beirut's port that caused widespread destruction, killed at least 160 people, and injured about 6,000 others. Police in Belarus's capital, Minsk, on Monday fired rubber bullets for a second night to quash protests following Sunday's disputed presidential elections. Officials say one demonstrator died when an explosive device went off in his hands, the first confirmed casualty since the clashes began. Autocratic President Alexander Lukashenko won 80% of the vote. His main rival, Svetlana Tikhanovskaya, refused to accept the results, saying she was the real winner. The opposition candidate said that the election results published on Monday morning, quote, completely contradict common sense. The Tanzanian authorities have banned all domestic broadcasters from carrying foreign-made content without permission from the government. International broadcasters, including the BBC, can currently be seen and heard on local radio and TV. Rights groups say the Tanzanian authorities have in recent years become increasingly intolerant of criticism. Publications have been banned and journalists imprisoned. Correspondents say with elections due in October, the new regulations will raise further questions about the state of democracy and free speech in Tanzania. A Canadian brewery has apologized for unwittingly naming one of its beers after a Maori word that is commonly used to mean pubic hair. Hell's Basement Brewery in Alberta said it released its Hururu Pale Ale 2 years ago, thinking it meant feather. But Maori TV personality Te Hamua Nikora pointed out the common interpretation of the word in a Facebook video. The brewery's founder said the product would now be rebranded. That's it for CGN News. I'm Scott Wilson. Thanks for watching.